All right. We'll let some people join here. My monster's out. Oh, man. Today was cleaning lady day. So, yeah. Had to stay out of the house while they clean. I mean, I know they prep this when I wait for somebody to attend here. I'll just hit the old Discord or Rooney and let a couple people know. All right, cool. So, hey, can you hear me okay, Tony Michelle? What's up, Texas River Rat? We got a little Josh Bach Cobb in here. Heck yeah. So I was saying, like, yeah, man, so today is cleaning lady day. So I always stay out of the house when they're here because, you know, big old boy in their way. All right, cool. Sounds good. You got me a nice little, look, they had these on sale. The wife got them for me. There at Sprouts. Delicious. No, I do not want to do that, YouTube. All right, anyway, so got a couple. So I do have some work to do. If this is too much noise, let me know with the cards. I wanted to give an update from yesterday's video. Good news is Emma had reached out to me and saying that the producers are going to give the credits to Treasure Quest, which the due credits, which is awesome. That's great. I love it when people, end up doing the right thing. Again, no biggie. It's just, I know a lot of people don't have to think about this because they don't host treasure hunts. So like for everybody else that's like out there just in the universe and they're not doing a treasure hunt, so I've been working and have worked with my counsel to make sure that I'm doing this right. So yeah, in those situations where I'd hidden those clues, in the images or hints even in the images with regard to the Treasure Quest game, like not knowing that it was going to be like what it was very, I was a little, to be honest with you, I was like super like stressed out and anxious about it because I have, what's called a good faith duty. Forgot what he called it exactly. Something in good faith and fair dealing. So all of a sudden now because I didn't know that it wasn't going to be whatever. Now I'm in potentially because it's a free hunt. I've not facilitated that, So anyway, so I figured I'd hop on and talk a little more about Seeker Summit and all the other good stuff about it. And woo, look at this, dude. Break some cards. Look, heck yeah, dude, that's a sick card, bro. Dude, so I'm breaking some Prism 2025s right now. I love, oh, shoot. Hang on a second. Hey, Mike, can I give you a call back? I'm on live right now.
All good. Thanks, bro.
Cool. Sorry, guys. Dude, this is sick, too. This is a Pat Bryant rookie year. Look at that. That's super sick, dude. What a pack. Anyways, so I'm going to be breaking these cards when I chop it up about Seeker Summit. Yeah, man, it was really awesome. Now that I got all that worry out of the way. Hey, what's going on, Marcy? Hope you're doing good. I'm sorry it got redacted. And then hello, Hunters, Miss Diana Cleveland. We got the treasure pack up in here. We got Mr. Mark from San Diego, the ultimate bro. Oh man, dude, what a pack. Yeah, so Secret Summer was awesome, man. Like, just now that I got all the legally stuff out of the way. I think everybody that came up to me, I tried to give every single person a lot of time and try to love on as many people as I possibly could. I know that in those kind of settings, it's kind of hard because, in this big convention center or whatever else. So, if you were there if you were there and I didn't get to spend very much time with you, my apologies for sure. I always want people to know that I care about them, and I don't think that any of us are better than anybody in general. But yeah, so good news is that they released a video last night of Justin's interview. It's a great interview, by the way. If you're in that hunt, you should definitely watch it. But the lead-in part of that video has I told on Discord last night. Oh, that's a sick ice. All right, cool. I told on Discord last night. Has a hint to there we go, Calazars. Has a hint to the upcoming part of Treasure Quest. And everybody should know that a big part of what I'm doing is the next four stages in the game will be all done by like professional developers. So, and the reason why that is like I've told people in the past, I built my first two houses. Oh man, look at this. This is sick Abdul Carter. Yeah, baby. I built my first two houses. And for those who don't know, I'm chasing. Hey, what's up, Churchina? I am chasing. The thrill of the chase right now for me is Jackson Dart cards. So if you have any Jackson Dart cards, hit your boy up. Okay. But no, I'm getting ready to release that third level. First two levels I built again because I built my first two houses literally. With some helpers. I didn't wire it. I did plumb them actually, which passed all the inspections and stuff. So I'm super proud about myself about that. But from here going forward, there's a check first. Cam Ward. Oh, look at that, dude. Iced out Cam Ward. Yeah, baby. Oh, Cam Scatterbo. Just almost missed that. I got the scat. So I did a break yesterday and I pulled a double auto. It was a scat and Ashton Gentry. I can't say his last name very well. But hey, what's up, Mr. Bobby? And Tristina's here. Cool. What's up, guys? But yeah, no, we got a lot ahead with regard to Treasure Quest. Got one last pack here. Maybe something's in it. I opened up, I don't know, 15 packs here, ripped them. I like ripping cards. So like if people get mementos and stuff for Christmas, I'll take any unopened. Oh, look at this! Look, that's a pretty sick card right there. That's a Travis Hunter prismatic. With the nice. All right, cool. So hits of the break. We got this Penix. Whoever this kid is. That Lawrence is pretty sick. And then, of course, the rookie year with Pat Bryant. It's going to be an all-star. And a couple of other ices here. So now that I'm done breaking those, I can pay attention to myself here. So going forward with level 3, everything will be done, from a professional group of coders or developing team or developer team. I've used this team in the past for another project. They're really good. Obviously, I have a primary American lead, but a lot of the work gets done from, overseas. So you don't ever want to. Hey, what's up, Dragon Lady? Almost home from. I hope you had fun, Dragon Lady, at Sigurd Summit. I hope it was awesome. But yeah, so like I was saying, and now that I know that we're in the clear with regard to the duty of good faith and fair dealing, that's what I got an email earlier. I was trying to make sure I had that terminology right. That's a big deal for me. And again, had I known like it was different, I would just behave differently with it. But all that said, it's all good. And the Treasure Quest folks, like obviously last night, with Justin's interview. Yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm so glad. I'm like super, super relieved. And then in the end, just making sure that people know what's coming up, where it's going. Treasure Quest itself is developing out pretty darn well, I think. I think on average, site requests, I'm having anywhere from $250,000 to $500,000 a month. Now those are sometimes from, hey, what's up, Max? How's it going, buddy? Those are sometimes, Cartarell, slamming the site. I know he's in here, he's watching. But we have a lot more, more and more unique IPs. I'd say anywhere from 10,000 to around 22,000 is 22,000 was the peak. Hey, what's up, Nemo? With the unique IPs coming to the site. And some of those are going to Trezor.fun. And those are actually, some of them are coming from Japan. So I'm sure Nintendo's like, this guy, but there's nothing they can do because it didn't cross any lines. Again, trying to be extremely legal, and I have thankfully some good counsel. So yeah, I think that's important, and I'm always trying to do that. Make sure that everything's kind of followed on the quote unquote up and up with the old Chad Bird and the old Treasure Quest, every I dotted, every T crossed. One of the funnest parts of Seeker Summit for me was actually just talking to people. I think I signed about right around 600 posters, which was cool. That's about 60% of the audience that was there. I mean, a lot of people came to, obviously see Justin and hear from Justin. And Justin himself was like extremely kind, super sweet. I know Jam had him working all day long, sort of in the background. They were kind of working on the architecture of the questions and stuff. So he wasn't as visible as maybe he might have been for, throughout a good part of the day, just because like, it really is hard to code something. Like Cartarell maybe can tell you this more, but when you're coding something, I mean, it's just like, even if you think you have it right, you might get a bug, or there might be like some sort of, a syntax error somewhere. Just all these things that can happen, right? So definitely was really cool. I think it was really awesome that he answered questions, without really previewing them. That to me was really, really cool. Because that's sort of my style. Like I really like doing that. I am sorry. I will tell everyone. Our my interview with Jam got cut short. There was just a sort of a miscommunication. It was not intentional. It was not like anybody, did anything wrong there. It just we had they had a spotter, right? So you always, when you do a show, had a spotter saying 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. It was just a miscommunication. And I remember when I looked down and I saw it, I thought, man, like, I don't think that much time has elapsed. But, and other good news that Emma found out, just a part that was a little upsetting, this and that. What she found out, the whole thing was recorded. So that's really, really good. Again, the producer said that he will get that to us so we can have that for the Treasure Quest or here on my channel. But I think it's best lived at first there on Treasure Hunt with Us, as they're the primary founder, if you will, of Seeker Summit. So it'll be on their channel first for a little while, and then we'll get it or whatever, right? I don't look. So these guys, content creators, and it doesn't matter what it's Calazars, Gypsy Kiss, Treasure Hunt with Us, Froggy, Jenny, any of these other co-collaborators for the event. Like, look, these guys they've invested a lot of time and energy and money into streaming and setting up schedules and missing birthdays and kids' football games and soccer games. I mean, just think about it. Like, if every Wednesday when they go live, that means they have to block out every Wednesday. So if something happens on Wednesdays, well, pretty much they can't do it, right? So, and Cal's for sure Mondays and Thursdays forever, and then Froggy has his D&D thing. But these guys are doing stuff to generate content, to be I don't know. They all have different aspirations, but in the end, like for me doing this is like just again a part of that rule I basically have to have, which is a duty of good faith and fair dealing. So when you do these kind of things, a treasure hunt specifically, I have a duty to everybody involved, and I'm trying my best to fulfill those duties and try to do them in the most transparent, honest, Chad Bird way I know how to do. I'm not a perfect person. I make mistakes. Oh yeah. Also, Eric, one clue short. Yeah, you popped in here. Yeah. Heck yeah, we put it. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, exactly. One clue short. All the energy that gets put into X marks the pod. It's even Cynthia when she's creating stuff. Maybe it's just not quote unquote monetized. It doesn't even matter if it's monetized, guys. It matters like, they each and every single one of these shows or personalities has something to offer someone, right? They may not be your quote unquote favorite, or you may not like some of the backseat stuff or whatever else. Me, Chad, I'm not ever going to be team anyone because again, I'm only hashtag team treasure quest. Oh yeah, and then Max, we got Max and KK up there and stuff. There's so many different people. Davio, we got all these different people that I've interacted with a lot in the last, however long, that I just have a lot of respect for, and respect for in different ways. I do think like for me, like even this last period, there are mistakes I made, and so I have to apologize for those mistakes. And at the same time, I learned like, what I got to do better. And like, hey, maybe I need to communicate this. Maybe, if somebody doesn't know something, maybe I need to like say, hey, kind of been down this road. And so here's a couple rocks we got to jump, before we get over, to where the Geo is, the big prize. Right. So, yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed Secret Summit. I really enjoyed everybody. I loved how it came together. I'm so thankful for the volunteers that showed up. I just can't tell you how grateful I am because look, without volunteers, bro, like chairs when he got set up right, stage when he got did chair, loading on, off, helping people at the door, talking to people. I know there was a group of folks like Farm Girl and Fallen and RC. I don't know, but they were putting out name tags. You know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly. They put out name tags, and they were like putting funny names, and they were like naming the dogs. So I mean, you just don't get that from a union show. Like if you do a show, I've done union shows. It's the worst because they stand there like, I don't know if you ever go around the city and you see them repairing a pothole, which all it takes is just a couple of little scoops of asphalt, pat it down, run it over, whatever else. There'll be 18 guys there. You know what I mean? Like just kind of standing around. That's kind of how a union show is. A union show is much like that. They're like, oh, I'm only paid to do X, Y, Z. So when we have shows where it's volunteer based and volunteers show up and show out, they're the ones that make the show. Like just because we get up and we do a Q&A and just because, we get up and we quote unquote entertain or whatever else, the volunteers are the ones that nail it. They're like, if you don't have good volunteers, you ain't got a good show. That's my opinion. I've always thought that, and it'll always be that way. And it looks like I'm going to be doing a tour, not a tour for myself. I'm going to buy several dates this fall. So I'm going to I'm going to pull out the old concert promoter hat here, and I'll let you guys know if any of those are going to be in the area, and we'll do something special at those shows that I'm going to do. Still working out the details with the artists and stuff. So, but looking forward to that. I think it'll be cool. Again, just to support them as artists and whatever else. I will let you know I've got multiple phone calls into some venues in Savannah. Um, for now, someone had mentioned, actually the 15th is, in the middle of the week, and then the weekend makes better sense. So I'm going to look at their calendar, their event calendar there in Savannah. And, well, now something. So there's an awesome piano bar that's there. I'm going to call those guys and see if we can have some fun, some bird bash fun. It's a huge place. Again, I've been to Savannah. I love Savannah, dude. And then Local 1011 is there, so I'm gonna reach out to Brett, and he's my favorite chef. He's probably my second favorite chef. Since they shut down Lone Eagle there in Tahoe, he is going to be my second. And then obviously the guys at Lamani there at Rockefeller Center, is probably some of the best Mediterranean food I've ever put in my own mouth. But yeah, so I'm going to work out those details for Savannah for September the 12th and 13th. So it'll be like maybe the 11th and 12th. I do, obviously when you come from a popularity side, Treasure Quest is not as popular as, the book-based hunts, right? Because the book-based stuff is like you can get in bookstores and all this other stuff. So I have to kind of come in at a little bit of a different angle. So what I'm going to be doing is going forward into the summer, I'm working to get on some of these more digital podcasts to talk about the hunt, Treasure Quest itself. So in the end, Seeker Summit to me was like killer. I thought it went off really without a hitch. I feel like Justin gave one of the best interviews he's had. Again, he felt comfortable, which is awesome. I felt like, the beginning part of my interview, I really got to talk about the why I'm doing Treasure Quest. And, if you don't really understand the why, I would go back and watch that. Even if, we didn't really get a whole lot of questions in. Again, the whole time kerfuffle thing, it's fine. It's like not a big deal. I do hate it for our big brainers and people that are really digging into it. But with that said, all things work out in the right time and space, and we just have to believe that, So when I don't know that, Cartario. They need to probably space those out. Right now, they rightfully so put Justin's up first, which is great. He obviously has the more of the quote unquote bulk of hunters, and so they got that one up first. I'm sure they'll let that soak for a week or two, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. I don't know. I don't know that whole thing. I don't know their plan on that deal. Oh, here we go. Here's Jam. We don't have them to post them. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So they're just going to give it to me to post myself. That's fine. No problem. So we'll post it over here and so people can see. In the end, it'll be for anybody and everybody to access. No problem. And then ultimately, like I was saying, the event went good. Volunteers nailed it, in my opinion. We're looking forward to see what they do in the future as far as future Seeker Summits. I know that we'll be doing a thing with Davio in June, and it'll be kind of like a real small gathering. And then again, we'll have the first quote unquote bird bash in September. And then, Seeking Treasure Con will be coming up after that. So, and in between that time, I'm going to be doing some shows, some actual concerts. Christian-based concerts, just so you know, and we'll be doing some sort of meetings and greetings, if you will, there. But in the end, it works out great. I'm looking forward to all the things that are ahead for Treasure Quest. The door, again, having meetings every day, debugging every day, making sure it's flawless every day, so that when it's time for it to go live, it's a good product. So with that, I'll answer just a couple of questions in the comment section. Okay. Funny how what works, brother. TS, what do you mean? TI survival, number 3. I don't know. Maybe I missed some. So yeah, definitely the forest belt was built there, Fallen Star. So nobody have any questions? Okay, well, cool. I'm actually shocked that Cartar L is sitting over there chomping at the bit with probably 100 questions and not asking one. Okay, pulling. Oh, okay, cool. Pulling up doc. Hold on. Okay, here we go. There we go. Now we're rolling. When do we get the door? Technically, within 30 days of the 21st. So I'm gonna manually do it on this one because I want it to be, again, whenever you're programming something, you have to it has to be good. Hey, what's up, UK zero something? Has season 2 started since you have started over an episode? No, I was just gonna do like 2. I feel like yesterday, I had a problem, then we have resolved. So we did episode 1, episode 2 on that. Yes, absolutely use AI agents to help randomize it. Let's see. Tristina said, would you consider doing one in Texas because some people might be using their vacation? Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Tristina. No offense to Texas, I love it, but there's not really anywhere in Texas to do things. Doing stuff in Dallas or Fort Worth is probably the only area that would be remotely fun. But the stockyards are just so daggum expensive. They've come in and they've Californiaed it up right up real quick. So there's not really any venues there that are good for our kind of gatherings. Um, so it's just not it's boring AF. I'm just gonna say that much. So if I were to do anything, probably in this quote unquote search area or near the search area in the future, probably Oklahoma City, or like Austin's fun, but it's like really expensive. And so you got to really kind of think about that too. Again, Dallas, I don't think people realize how large Dallas is. Like there's nothing concentrated. Like, you have to have a car to go have fun. It's almost impossible. It's not like Vegas. And that's why I was saying like Savannah would be great because, you know, Forsyth Park area, there's a lot of little venues around. I've already checked this, and then there's a ton of housing there, and then we'll be kind of going out of peak season with regard to Savannah. We'll be in that little weird window. My birthday is always in this weird window, so it's going to be really really fun. So I understand that if it isn't the perfect quote unquote location with regard to the actual hunt, it's whatever. I mean, really, a treasure hunt isn't just always boots on the ground, right? So, you had to figure that out. But yeah, I personally would never do anything in Dallas just because it's just you just can't do anything. Yeah, it's easy to get to, but everything is just so spread apart. Fort Worth, maybe. Now, Grapevine would be okay, like at the Gaylord, but again, that's kind of expensive. But the Gaylord definitely has a lot of cool places, kind of up and around that area. Arlington's okay. Irving, it would be kind of okay, but again, guys, these things are real. They're really really expensive. The venues that'll be there are pretty expensive. So, and then we kind of have a car to like go everywhere there. like I'll tell you, there are a lot of places there that don't even have sidewalks. So I think we were born within a couple. Heck yeah, bro. That's right, dude. For sure. But you passed. See, I'm still stuck in Virgo land. You're what's your sign? I forgot what the sign is after mine. So I'm in Virgo land still. Nope, Texarkana is not pretty. Definitely not pretty. Texarkana, dude, I told y'all from the rip, I wouldn't hide anything in Texarkana. Theo said to tell you that this is the best chocolate. Oh, I love it, man. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Question. Tobiah wants to know, is VINs from crypto mining, cryptocurrency transactions? VIN refers to the input vector, okay, within the transaction structure, specifically listing the source of funds previously unspent outputs. With regard to the riddle, no, it is not. And then let's see here. I didn't have but now I'm going back to that question about Tristina's question about where. Yeah, I just for example, they just had Seeker Summit, in Tucson, which is sort of in Justin's hunt area, but he knew it wasn't right. He told us 75 miles from where he was looking for the forest treasure. So I mean, that's not really in the hunt area either. So, I want to, if we do something that's going to be kind of related to me, I always want it to be top notch and, above board and be fun. Right. Because in the end, if it's not fun, then, you know, I don't know, maybe not even worth doing. You know what I mean? Because again, like there's only going to be one person that finds it, you know? Like I know that a lot of people will talk about this, they hide treasures, whatever, but like ultimately there's only a finder or a group of finders. And so some of the things that you get as searchers through the journey, specifically with me, is going to be, interaction and trying to, uh, you know, even interact, on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so definitely Savannah this time. Again, maybe next year we'll look at like Oklahoma City or Austin or yeah, I wouldn't even say Waco, man. Like I really love Texas. Do not get me wrong. Like Texas is so much fun, but it just requires being able to drive yourself around and like a lot of people when they come to these things don't necessarily have vehicles, right? So makes it tough. All right, here we go. Cartariel, Miss Q from you mentioned a science experiment where you submerged a geode in a mixture of oil and water. This is correct. What was the hypothesis for this experiment? What did the results show? Okay, the hypothesis was I could use a certain formulation of silicone and foam and seal all rocks are porous, right? And seal up the entire cavity to where it was not porous. And then I wanted to make sure because molecules work differently, I wanted to make sure, different types of fluids that it might get exposed to would not go through it. And so then what did the results show? Well, again, I cut it back open. There's been talked about this. Worked perfect. So then sealed it right back up with the same process. So there you go, Mike. Texarkana, here we go. Answer to Tobiah. Justin, yeah, he did. He definitely messed up on the forest belt. 1,000% did. And that was such a good question. I don't know who popped that question off to him, but the fact that and maybe it was for show. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They're filming the documentary, so we don't know exactly what was exact. As far as whatever. They may want it to be over sooner than later. Who knows? I don't know. Like in the end, like, it's been a good hunt. I really like Justin's hunt, like 1000%, obviously, right? Um, and Mike says, Billie Jean is, do the words in the location riddle take us to a final location, or will we be finding a location from another source in level one? I've talked about the words, in the blue letters. There's three very, and I said this at Secret Summit. There are three very vital words within those words, and it's until and it's like that is the part of level one that, like, if you don't have anything. That's my forest thing. But you got to figure it out, right? Um, but as the game develops, like, there's ultimately an end, things will come out, more and more and more and more. But again, I had to make it public about, again, level one, sort of containing it all, right? Here we go. Let's see here. If Calazar says, if the wallet in the geode is destroyed somehow, good question. Can you access the crypto for the finder? Absolutely. So, it might, I don't know, not sure how familiar you are with crypto, but ultimately, you have your pass key, and you have like, trying to see if I had a wallet laying around. Randomly, I always have wallets laying around. It's hilarious. Well, anyways, you have to write down your passphrase, right, with everything that, and there's a couple of things, but in the end, yes, it can actually, because that is definitely a worry I have, right? Because it is in an area where it's going to get weather. I mean, even here, in Las Cruces, we get dust storms, and you get those. Some of them are not very destructive, but there's definitely straight line winds here, and wouldn't call them tornadoes. I think they call them dust devils or whatever. But a large part of the area is definitely susceptible to, not only, guys. So another thing I had to think about was lightning, right? So that was another reason. Go back to Cartarell's thing. I try to insulate the contents of the geode because of the lightning. Does that make sense? So you have to, and rocks, believe it or not, are the most struck thing. So, yep. And then the volunteer work versus paid work. What are we saying here? TI survival. Yeah, I was just saying, like, volunteers are way better than union, because they put passion into it. Again, if you volunteered at Secret Summit, please email me. I have a list of only like 4 or 5 right now. I know that there were more. You can email me. OKC would be perfect. I definitely don't disagree, because Bricktown is awesome, right? It's where it's cool, right? So if we're gonna do something, if I'm gonna do something, I want to kind of put it in a spot that's gonna be easy for people to go have fun, and be able to easily walk around. What kind of? Oh, now I'm not gonna answer that. But good try. How far is Geo from a Bucky's? Well, you know what, Mike? What's really awesome about Bucky's is they'll give you a sign 587 miles away, right? They'll say something like, "You're not too far now." Um, did you see my question? It was skipped. Lorraine's, let me see. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. What's weird is I had this light, and so it reflects in my eye. Do you know anyone who is in the correct area to find you? I can't answer that just yet. I'm going to give some time for that. I know Forrest waited for a while before he really did the whole 200-foot comment, yada, yada, yada. Again, I do think that, like, I kind of had this feeling like Justin kind of wants his over sooner than later. Maybe there's another phase, which would be really cool, right? If he hides another treasure, I mean, that'd be dope. Yep. So I hope that answers Miss Lorenz. Fallen. How many of my friends with smart cars could park? No, that's going park next to me or bumper to bumper at the smart car 450-foot spot. It's a good one. I could say a lot, but not too many. Does the color of train line route have any importance to your area? Also, are you a train collector? I am not a train collector, Miss Diane. I have friends that are, and they are passionate fellows, let me tell you. But no, I will tell you, no. The color of a train line route has no importance to the area where Geo is. TS, I'm sorry, I was. Oh, wow. Okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, cool. Do you know of anyone? Yeah, okay, cool. And the question, here we go. TI Survival says, question: do you have any experience with water or fire accidents like drownings or close drownings or fires where people were in danger? Well, I was in danger. I'll tell you this much. Funny story. So we bought this house. We had bought a house, and the people prior had this huge, like, massive junk pile that behind it, like a few acres or whatever, right? And Elizabeth was going to go visit her parents up in Ohio. And I thought, okay, well, this would be great. You know, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to take care of this brush fire, this brush pile, you know, get my backhoe out there, you know, we'll get it all, you know, put in together, you know, and I got all my water and my water, all this stuff, right? And so I was so prepared. Like I was extremely prepared for this fire, okay, for what I was about to do. And my neighbors and everybody else around, I say neighbors, I mean whatever, but you know, voluntary fire department type stuff. Uh so I get out there and dude, this pile is like it's probably I'd say 60 foot deep, 60 foot long, and probably I don't know, 20 feet, probably 20 feet wide. So, you know, we got like this rectangle of debris that they put out there. Now, realize that I'm just thinking that this is just a brush pile, right? You know, yeah, sure, they've thrown some other things in there, and you know, like some sheetrock and other things like that. And then when the pile is done, I'm going to dig it up, and then I'll bury it with the old backhoe. But no, this is not what happened. So I got the fire going, okay? And so the idea with this is like, okay, just let it kind of go through. You kind of keep the front part of it, you know, wet, right? So like, you know, it's a big long thing, but you know, I've got my little UTV and I've got my water hose and I've got all this stuff. So I'm keeping the front part of the fire wet, you know, around the backside of it. So it's like a lot of work burning this pile, right? So I get about I don't know, shoot, uh, maybe a tenth of the way into it, right? So I got this big long column that we got to burn, and I'm trying to burn it this way. And I go, and I hear boom. I'm like, whoa, whoa, you know, and like, of course, then fire's like all sparking up, going everywhere. And I hear boom, 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 boom. These people had put spray cans in this brush pile. Now I know why they didn't burn it. And so now all of a sudden, this fire is just getting out of control, right? So now I'm like, oh crap, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, because I'm gonna burn down half the freaking countryside because these people had put spray cans in this daggum brush fire or this brush pile. So I end up spending the next 7-8 hours of my life out in front of it because the way the wind was blowing out in front of it. I had this towel wrapped around my head that I had soaked and like just so I can not get all smoky breath and stuff in water. And I'm just constantly just spraying water out in front of this thing and dodging projectiles, right? So never ever ever put spray cans in a brush pile. That's the lesson learned. So that's my little fire story. Let's see here. See train tracks. No. Are you likely to see an eagle near Geode? There's definitely eagles throughout the whole search area, I think. Um, Feng Shui. That's a good one. I'm not going to answer it though. I'm going to punt on it. How much would I have to pay? Now, technically, it would depend on how many you bought. And then Qwerty says, was it an olive jar for the experiment? No, ma'am. Little engine Chad, good to see you, bro. I'm currently at work. Yeah, good to see you too, man. Cartarell. He's another ball buster from Big Brains. You confirmed the blue words from Location Riddle work in an 8x8 grid to find clues. Would it be safe to say a 6x6? I think that's fair. And he's asking if a 6x6 grid is useful as well. I think that's fair. Have you ever eaten a garfish? I have never eaten a garfish. Maybe that I don't know of. To be honest with you, I did have buddies who, they bow fished a lot. So it is possible that I did, but it's not like I ordered it. Does that make sense? Feng Shui going. Dang it. Hey, Chad. Here we go, Jennifer. Hey, Chad. And everyone else from Secret Summit. Yeah, I had to punt a little bit there, Feng Shui. It's a pretty specific question. It's almost like asking where he is. Is the name of the body, okay, so guest user 17, another big brainer here, is the name of the body of water to the east or the, ooh, that's a good question. So she's asking, is the named body of water to the east or west of Geode? There is a world where it could be both. Did you hear Nolan Kitty? Nolan Kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here, buddy. Nolan, kitty, kitty, kitty. Come here, buddy. Where you at? My cat's meow. I was going to try to show you him. Hang on. Let me find him. Come here, buddy. Oh, yeah, he's a good boy. You want him to come here? Come on. Come on. Yeah, good boy. Oh, it's a good boy. Here we go. Let's meet the people. Look at the people. This is Nolan Kitty Kitty. Can you say hi, Nolan? Huh? Hi, he's a good kitty. Yeah, that's my buddy right there. All right, buddy. I'll see you in a minute. Anyways, yeah, so there's a world that can be both. Saved by a cat. I love cats. What do cows smell like? It really depends on it depends on where they're at, right? So like they're out in pasture, they smell one way. If they're in a confinement barn, they smell a whole different way, actually. Yeah, dude, he's such a great cat. I love him. He's like my favorite. Nolan's my favorite, actually. Cat. Now, of course, Braveheart died. I'll wear this "Don't Cat Dry Food Kills Cats." because cats don't. We didn't know this. They were brothers from the same crew, and actually, I keep Braveheart's little paw right here beside me in the office because yeah, man, he that's a tough day, man. Dry food, the cats can't, they don't have the proper enzymes to break down. So if you're feeding them things that don't have enough, more than 70% moisture in their bladder, dude, we did a scan of his bladder. It looked like a snow globe. And it's really tough it's really tough. That's really, man, I don't know if I've cried that much in a while, man. But, yeah, but Nolan's brother, and he's left. Luckily for Nolan, he always loved the wet food, and but Braveheart always liked the crunchies, and we didn't know, even though we're spending $80 a bag on crunchies, don't feed your cats dry food. Give them anything else. Give them the cheapest can of tuna. Give them anything other than dry food. And then let's see here. Bunch of questions above. Need to scroll up. Yeah, I love cartoon. All right, Doctor. Oh, Doctor. Not Doctor Evil, bro. Yeah, hey, Chad. What did I miss, Cartariel? Help me out there because I can't see it. Chad, not jar. Was the olive jar used for an experiment? No. For my experiment, it was a rock. It is in an actual geo. What you're looking for? Um, is there public hunting near the geo? Let me find something out first. Okay. So no greater than 30 miles for public hunting land. See here, Mark, describe what was special about your intro. Well, you just kind of had to watch it. I just basically kind of go over who I am and why I did it. Once I get that video, again, if they don't put it up on their channel, that's fine, whatever. I'll share it over here. Obviously. Iron Max, you can smell cows at the can you smell cows at the geo? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we have in these areas a thing called free ranging cows. So depends on if they're around or not. Oh no, he's asking what type of type of oil. Oh, okay. Hardy, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to specify the kind of oil that it was because it might give something away actually about the actual what the geo looks like. Now then, how much time did you spend in the area the day you hid the geo? Not much. Like I said, I got frozen by the biker. Um, I already knew where I want to put it, so it was finding the spot maybe took me 10 minutes. Tristina, have you ever? No, I haven't. I already answered that, Carter. I've never eaten a carp, not to my knowledge. And then Max is like, thanks, guys, cool. And then treasure hunt with us. As soon as we get it, we'll make sure. Yeah, for sure. We know that, man. I was just talking about you guys might put it on your channel first to help with views or whatever, but no worries if that's how it is. It's cool. Mike, yep, I did. How far is the closest hotel to Geo? That's a good one. Now, when you say hotel, realize it. Are you meaning hotel in motel? Like those are all very different things. Motor inns, the film crew. Drove home. Cool. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we know. I was just telling them that you guys might put on your channel first and let it soak up there. From Theo, ask Chad how close the nearest camping facility, like a campground, specifically, and then send it. Send it. Specifically. Ah. I'll give a range just because I found the range thing to be the best way to do these kind of questions. Because you know what, I got guest user 17 out there making maps like crazy. Which, dude, guest user, do the entire hunt community a favor. Take just a smidgen of a break with TQ and go lock in on what Justin said. Because you're like the ultimate map maker. Yeah, so I would say within 25 miles there is a campsite for sure. Theo. Carter, I missed. Questions from Secret Summit. In a previous live YouTube, you said that the bicyclist was probably breaking the rules. What rules would he break? Well, I don't. I'll tell you, you can't ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. Hotel, motels, resort. Yeah, definitely easily within 10, 15 miles, maybe 20 miles, somewhere around there. Holiday Inn, exactly. Holiday Motel, hotel. All right, cool. Not that I'm saying no public hunting within 30 miles. I'm just saying that 30 miles is a good radius to use. Again, as player, just so you know, Matt from Oklahoma, and as players move on to the game field, I have to shift a little bit, and that's okay. It's good. It's healthy as a creator to shift the game. And we have a player right now. His. I'm not really certain if it's what gender or whatever the said person is. But guest user 17 is very good at making maps. And so I have to now, I've learned I need to give a range and not be as specific. So yeah, and then no, the Four Seasons. Fallen. How close is the closest Four Seasons? Let me look. Hopefully you guys can't see my screen. Can y'all see my screen? That'd be so weird if that was happening. I don't know. I know that it's probably not the case because I'm not screen sharing, but low key would be like terrifying if that just happened. While I look that up, guest user, is the road where you can stop your car and walk 400 feet to the Geo the closest road to the Geo? No. Yeah. I'd say following your radius on that is probably 240 miles. Yeah. So anyways, cool. So it's been like an hour. And I got some work I go get done. Again, thanks again to Treasure Hunt with us and getting like I was talking about the duty. the duty of when Steve say this? Duty of good faith and fair dealing. Um, we got that done, and yeah, so look forward to this June. I don't really know who all's out in Cali or whatever. Um, that could pop in. I would say I don't really want to make that about Treasure Quest. So if your aims to come out is to make it about Treasure Quest, it's not. This is really more should be more like Loki, a little bit more intimate type situation because we are going hiking up to not a dangerous, probably a moderate height. He says it's a moderate. It is where he fell from, right? So I don't really want people coming just because of Treasure Quest. Like if you're not, a hiker or experienced in hiking, you should definitely not come. Um, and then also, but in Savannah in September, I'm working on those details. I'll do that right now. I had an email come through, had a phone call as well come through that I need to get handled for that situation. And then I'm going to work closely with a couple of the big brainers to make sure, it gets all, nice, tidy bow, nice, great presentation. And yeah, so I hope everybody, has a great day and I will see you around the bend. Cool.